Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah, so my first job interview experience. Wow, was actually, I don't know. It's nothing really comical. It's not really comical, but it's just a very weird experience. I mean, like, it felt like as if, as if nature was in my favor. Let me just say that word. Because okay, what happened was this. I went for a job interview at a company on the island, Lekki to be precise. And so getting there were quite a lot of people who also applied for the same job. And we did the first how the interview started was like we're given sheets of paper with a test, and on that test they asked us some brain how would I call it? All those mind questions, mind games, all those brain teasers. So those were the kind of questions that were asked, and I can't really remember how that question went. It was really difficult, really difficult. And I saw the question and I was like, wow. Like, okay, they asked two questions on the paper, and we're like asked to decipher it. I think the first one was quite easy for me because I'd seen it somewhere, but the second one was pretty difficult, like very difficult. And I was like, how like I kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and then people kept going in and coming out, coming out, like. But the thing was that people spend hours inside there, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Why are you guys spending hours in this thing? Although I myself, I didn't know the answer, but I was like, is it really this tense? For people to spend so much hours, I mean, nobody has actually gotten the right answer. That was my guess. So it was my turn, and I went in, and as I got in, they asked me, okay, what was the answer to the first question? And I told them that, okay, this is not right. They were like, okay, good. They asked me, what about the second one? Then on the spot, I started speaking, I started talking. I was saying nonsense, actually. But there's this kind of, I don't know, when I was in school, I studied engineering, mechanical engineering, and there was one thing I learned in my 5 years as a mechanical engineering student was how to make inferences. I mean, I think it's something that a lot of engineering students know how to do. Like when I mean make inferences, like putting one and two together to make an assumption of what something will be, or a likely probability. So I used that idea to answer the question, but I did it in a step-by-step process. So I kept looking at it and I was like, okay, if this is this and this is that, this would happen like this will happen. So I was making inferences upon inferences upon inferences. Unknowing to me, the questionnaires or the board that were examining me at the time, or they were interviewing me, they were falling for my game. And I was like, oh wow, this is actually working. And I was making these inferences. They were giving me, they were saying, oh yeah, nice, okay, good. So if this happened, so they were actually playing into the inferences. I don't know if it was deliberate or it was just, maybe it was coincidental, or maybe they were not aware that they were giving me clues. So as I was making those inferences, they were giving me clues, and I was listening to them. I was quite attentive. I was listening to the clues they were giving me. It now felt as if before I got in, it felt as if there was no bridge. Now it felt as if I was getting the materials to build the bridge, and I was getting the clues, building the bridge, and my inferences was making them to give me clues, and I was using those clues to build my bridge to get to the answer. Then, when I was almost done, I just told them that, okay, so if it's like this is like this, and this will be the most likely solution. And they were like, Then I was like, you're the only person that I've actually come close to getting the answer. And I was like, wow. And I was like, I was surprised. And I was like, wow. That I'm the only person that come close. And before me, I was like, because we had numbers. I think I was like number 20. So they were like 19 people that had already gone in before me. So by the time I just told me that, when they told me that I'm the only person that's come closest to getting the answer, I was like, wow, really? And I was surprised. I was like, wow, okay, no problem. And luckily enough, I got the answer correct. Not by my own power, because I know they gave me clues that I don't know if they were aware that they were giving me clues, or probably my inferences was bringing out those clues. But at the end of the whole thing, I got the job, actually, to the glory of God. I got the job based on those inferences, based on everything. I think what I noticed actually was that they were not actually looking for someone who knows the answer, but they were looking for someone who can think and who can bring out clues and get to the answer. And I now realize that, oh, so this is how most of these business organizations are. I mean, they are not really, when you go for an interview, they are not really looking for the person who knows it all. They are not looking for the person who knows the answer. They are looking for someone who can bring in resources, who can use the resources they have to create step-by-step procedures to get to the answer. They are not looking for, they might not necessarily, because the truth is, in the world where we live today, not everybody has the answers to a lot of things. I mean, it's because most things, a lot of people don't read. Let's be factual. A lot of people don't read, so a lot of people don't know answers to many things. And not the fact that a lot of people don't read, it's not because of the fact that they do not control it, because a lot of people are hustling, so a lot of people don't have the time to sit down and read. It's not an excuse. Reading is actually a good thing. I read, but there's get some things you can't know everything, and that's the truth. You can't know everything. No man is an island of knowledge, but your ability to find out or to get out a way to get the answer is what most of all these companies are looking for, and that's a lot of things that most people do not have. Most of all these companies, they don't expect you to know how to solve a problem. They don't expect you to know how to solve a problem, especially when you have no experience at all. But what they want is what they want to see. They want to see your desire, your resilience, or your ability to use the little resources you have to search for the answer that they need. That's all. That's the thing. So I guess it was something I learned, and it was something that's always been helping me in life in general. So, and this is one thing I would like to share with everyone out there who is probably seeking a job or preparing for an interview. You don't have to know everything. All you just need to do is work on your inferences skill. Let me use that word, making the inferences. Your how to use resources to put one and two together to get a most likely answer. You know, the more likely your answer is, the more closer you are to the solution of your problem, and you keep adding pieces together in order to get the solution. So that is my experience, my first job interview experience.